Briony, welcome to the Run Spesh Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we were just talking just before. Do you feel like this is your natural habitat?
Not at all. No. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Well,
crazy.
We're going to find out what you're doing here over the next sort of 60 or 70 minutes. And I mean, I did some digging because, we've, I guess, kind of known each other for the best part of a decade.
Yeah. I was thinking about that on the way here.
Yeah. And it's funny how you know someone in their role in a way, and then maybe with like Run Club and stuff, which we'll touch on that too, we know each other a little bit more than just role, like work and stuff. But then I started to do some digging and you learn lots about people, which I think is amazing. Yeah.
I wear a few hats.
Yeah. And so you were talking about feeling a little bit like you've got imposter syndrome.
Yes.
What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I have that in almost everything I get myself involved in. But really just thinking, am I that much a part of the run community to justify being on a podcast? No.
I think, so my goal in the next 60 minutes is to convince you that you are.
Okay.
So we'll come back to that, and if I forget because my ADHD forgets stuff, you've got to remind me that. So you've got to feel like. So I talked to Dave. So Dave's your partner.
Yes,
partner? Yep.
Dave is my partner. Yep.
Dave's your partner, and I asked him a series of questions, and there were some funny ones, and then there were some serious ones. And what I try and do is I try and give the audience a sense of who the person is, and then we learn about their story. Okay. So words from Dave. What do I love most about Bri? I guess that's his nickname for you, Bri. Tough question. And then there's a whole bunch of commas. So I'm guessing his fat finger got stuck. So says, she's my best friend and biggest supporter. She's a really positive influence on me. I've been through a lot in the last few years and she's been my rock. So I guess her kind and supportive nature is my answer. But she's also hilarious.
Excellent.
So we'll start with that. So where were you born?
I'm a POM.
Oh, well, we won't hold it against you.
No, please don't.
Are you supporting the All Blacks or the?
Oh, All Blacks.
Okay, good.
Way.
Okay, we're 100%. Fine. We can continue.
Yeah, like I'm very much a Kiwi at heart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was born in the UK in the 80s. We'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I didn't put a date in there. I read it, but I decided.
Born in the UK and did most of my schooling over there, and then always had ties to New Zealand because I've got some family here based up in Wellington. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it was one of those things where growing up there was always fridge magnets and tea towels and all that kind of touristy stuff from family. And so New Zealand was kind of just always there. And so when I shouldn't say this, but when I got my first student loan,
no one's listening.
I may have bought a flight to New Zealand and gone, right, I'm going to come out and hang out for a bit. And honestly, as soon as that plane touched down and I put my feet on the ground, I felt like I was home. And I've always felt like that. I can't really explain it, but it feels like home for me. So I basically didn't leave.
So there's a little interesting plot twists in here. So you studied some psychology and drama studies.
Yeah.
And with like joint honours.
Yes.
At the University of Winchester.
I did.
Yeah. And then you end up doing outdoor education.
Correct.
So I mean that. I don't quite see where they cross.
It's a bit of a leap.
Yeah. So what happened in that time frame that made you think, hey, I want to do this? So
after high school, I'd got a summer job working at a camp.
Amazing.
It was a YMCA camp in the UK. Voluntary. I was 16 years old. It was my first kind of, my first exposure to the outdoors because my school didn't do outdoor ed, sadly.
Is that like an endemic thing in England? Or?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just that we were in a pretty big town. There was 2,000 kids at my high school. Okay. So it was a big school, big town, Southampton, UK. But we did the traditional sports. Girls had to play netball. We had a little bit of CrossFit, bit of badminton, bit of track, but nothing that really kind of, I guess, at that point sparked my interest. And then got this job on a summer camp and discovered, archery and climbing and rafting and abseiling and all this fun stuff whilst working with kids and really enjoyed it.
So what age were the kids that you were?
They ranged from, they would be probably 9 through to 16. And a lot of them were kids that came every summer. Gotcha. So I don't know if it was their parents just wanted to get rid of them for 6 weeks, but it was the same kids every summer on camp, and then you get the new ones coming through. And I just loved it. I just loved that whole environment. And so I did start university, and the drama and psychology thing was just my 2 favourite subjects at high school.
Gotcha.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit of psych, a little bit of kind of more the performance side of drama. And my careers teacher said, well, what are your favourite 2 subjects? Drama and psychology. Okay, you should do those at uni. Which I now realise was terrible advice because, you know, that's not...
Does any 17-year-old know?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. What I really needed to do was go on an OE and experience life, but I didn't. I went to uni because everyone was doing it and, realised that drama was less about the kind of the performance side of things that I really enjoyed and just more, I guess it was more like English lit. So just like, here's a great big, like 1,500 page
The Odyssey.
Write
Shakespeare.
about it.
Yeah.
And psychology at university level was all stats, which you'd love. I hated it. It was stats and research methods.
Really? So it's nothing to do about people?
No, and I really like the really kind of crazy psychology, you know, like criminal psychology. What makes a serial killer a serial killer? Dream psychology. All that kind of really kind of what makes people tick. And I guess...
Not stats.
Not stats, no, or research methods. And so just uni wasn't doing it for me. And then, I feel like this is a very long, convoluted way of getting back to it. But my flatmate, while I was at uni, we just kind of ended up in a flat together, she said to me, she's quite in tune with me.
Gotcha.
Got on really well, still know her. Hi, Lorna. She, I guess, noticed that I wasn't loving life at uni. Social side of things was awesome, of course, but I wasn't really enjoying what I was studying. And she said, you know, there's a polytech up the road that does outdoor education, eh? I was like, no, really? And so, ended up switching to do that. That was a place called Spesh College in Winchester as well. And, I enrolled, and I was the older one because I'd already been at uni. Yeah. And I was in class with a bunch of 16-year-olds, which was fun.
That's how I feel at work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good though because, you know, they were all fresh out of school, sort of super enthusiastic. Ended up doing a 2-year diploma in outdoor ed, which did not feel like study at all. It was awesome. So much fun.
How does that conversation go with your family from like studying, going, I guess, a legitimate, like I put it in quotation.
Because it's university and it's really important.
So whatever that means. And then you go just to do a passion.
Yeah.
What would be maybe perceived as a passion project. Probably particularly in the like early 2000s before it was cool to be outside again.
Yeah, yeah.
How did that go?
I mean, it was a long time ago now. So memory-wise, I do remember getting a sense that my parents were a bit disappointed. My big thing was that I wanted to do an OE and they had convinced me it wasn't a good idea.
Gotcha.
Which in hindsight, I wish I'd kind of stuck to my guns because I feel like you do a lot of learning about yourself in that kind of OE time. But I didn't, and I listened to them and I went to uni. So when that conversation came around, I was like, well, hey, I listened to you. It didn't exactly work out for me. So now I'm actually going to do something I really, really want to do. And they, I guess, their biggest thing was like, oh, you know, she's going to end up quitting everything. She's just not able to study. What's going to happen? But I think within the first few weeks of me on this course, they could see how happy I was and I was really, really enjoying it and that I was working with people in the outdoors and that was my happy place. And so it didn't take long for them to kind of realise that, yeah, that was a good thing. Especially my dad. Like my dad's always been a bit of a nomad and a bit of an outdoors guy. Yep. So he saw it straight away.
And so then you become a senior instructor at the Marwell Activity
Yes.
Marwell Activity Centre.
Marwell, yes. Yeah. So Marwell Activity Centre was a privately owned activity centre.
Yep.
So YMCA had been my kind of starting point. And then whilst I was studying, I got a part-time job at the activity centre. And after my study finished, I ended up becoming one of the senior instructors on site. So that would have been 06, I think.
Yep. That's what I've got written down here.
Yep, well done. And yeah, I think not long after that, I came to New Zealand.
Yes, I've got here. You pulled up stumps in sort of end of 2006, early 2007. Would that be?
Yeah.
And so what goes into that decision?
Again, I'd kind of it had always been in the back of my mind. Like always wanted to be here. I'd come over in 2003, 2002. Might have been Christmas 2002.
Yep.
And just for a month while I was at uni.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I spent my loan on.
Uni.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much that's the point where I was like, okay, I need to be here. And so basically as soon as I'd finished my diploma, my outdoor diploma, that was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to get back over there again.
Yep.
And so worked at the activity centre. And then I think I would have come over here, I want to say September 06.
Yep.
And yeah, that was it.
And then nearly 20 years later.
I know. It's mad. It does and it doesn't feel like I've been here that long. Like I can remember, almost everything about my diploma because it was just such a good time. And I've still got friends from doing that. But at the same time, I'm like, I just feel like I've also been here forever.
Yep.
As well. So, yeah.
And then, so you hang out. Where do you hang out? You come to Christchurch? Do you go to Nelson? Do you go to...
No.
I didn't stalk that hard. It started to get creepy.
So I did move over with a guy.
Oh.
So when I first came over in 06, I was actually living up in Papamoa in the Bay of Plenty. Mm-hmm. And so I had a summer there, which was really cool. It's very different now, very, very different now. But it was very much a kind of very laid back, kind of surfy town.
Bit like Raglan.
Yeah, kind of Raglan of the East Coast. And just had a great summer there. Worked a retail job, just part-time, but mostly just enjoyed being in Papamoa over summer, like just loving life. And then the guy enrolled at what was then CPIT, now ARA. So the two of us moved down here, and that was early 2007. Mm-hmm. And I've more or less been in Christchurch ever since.
Yeah. So obviously something happens to said guy.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't. It doesn't happen to said guy.
That wrapped up in 08, I believe.
And then you meet Dave in 2011.
Yes. So in 2011, in fact, 2009, I started working at Mountain Designs, which actually was right next door to Frontrunner Colombo on
pre-earthquake
corner of Litchfield and Colombo.
Yeah,
way back when.
There's a good quadrant of outdoor stores there.
There was, yeah. They were all in that same.
Kathmandu.
Yeah, Snowgum.
Yeah.
Road. What else was there? High Country, I think.
Yeah, because I just not trying to make you feel old, but I used to catch the bus in.
Oh yeah.
From school.
Yeah.
In 09, 010, 09, 08, and 09 into town. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So so I started working at Mountain Designs. And Dave, at that point, Dave was the manager of the Wellington store.
Gotcha.
And I think it's probably the same with a lot of retail stores that have branches in other cities. You always kind of ring each other up. Hey, can we get such and such a product sent down? And so Dave and I always had this great banter over the phone. We used to have sort of like I believe back in the day it was like MSN chat.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Wow. Windows 7?
Yeah.
Windows
Something
7
like that.
MSN chat?
Yeah.
That was when emojis first kind of...
Yeah, they were. Yes.
Wow. Okay. It's probably, if they could go back and look at those conversations, there'd be some embarrassing conversations in there.
Well, yeah. So Dave and I may have actually got MSN chat banned from the company
Oh.
because we spent too long chatting to each other on it.
Was it like pre-internet dating? Internet dating?
Well, we weren't really dating at that point. We didn't,
True.
you know, he lived there, I lived here, but we had a lot of chat.
Yeah. Pre-Tinder.
Yeah, and I'm too old for Tinder. So we used to chat, and then I guess, fast forward and things in Christchurch got a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
I was working in the shop when it all kicked off, which was a crazy time. Really very crazy. My dad was literally with me when it started to shake.
Oh, wow.
He had flown over. He used to come over here every year. I loved it here. And he used to come over. He'd arrived in the country, I think, the day before. And he'd text me that morning, so February 22nd, 2011. He'd arrived. He said, I think I'm getting over the jet lag. Do you want to meet for lunch? And I said, I'm working, but if you come into town, we'll go for lunch. And so he'd arrived into the shop at about 1:45, 1:45, and then about 5 minutes later, it all started shaking.
The city fell down.
Yeah, yep, pretty much. So I was glad to have him with me.
Yeah.
Because he'd walked through Cashel Mall, and those of you listening that don't know, Cashel Mall pretty much, like a lot of buildings fell down onto people. There was a lot of debris, a lot of, just chaos. So he'd literally walked through there probably 10 minutes before it all happened. So, glad to have him with me in the shop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was a crazy time, very crazy time. Yeah.
Not much fun.
No, not for anyone. I mean, a lot worse for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I guess I'm lucky in the fact that no one directly close to me was hurt badly or killed. But I think as a city, it really hit us hard.
There's a lot of anxiety for a long time.
Yeah. But it also brought out the best and worst of people. I think, there were some horrible stories of looting and things like that, but also some incredible stories of the community just rallying together and supporting each other, and neighbours that had lived together lived next door to each other for 15 years, never spoken, and then they're going around checking on each other, and so I think situations like that, they definitely bring out the best and worst in people. So wow.
Yeah,
That got deep quickly.
it tends to. It does tend to get there. So I'm guessing that meant that Dave came down.
Oh yes, that's how we got there.
That's where I was heading.
Yeah. See, my brain works like yours.
Yeah, no, but I can put little timestamps in. If we timestamp this, roughly how old are you by now?
Oh gosh, 2011.
Roughly 25, 26.
I was late 20s.
Okay,
I think.
just to put so people can see you've done this, you've got the diploma, you've done some outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
You've come to New Zealand. I don't know, opportunity wise, we kind of got outward bound, and to use that kind of degree. There's lots of outdoor spaces, but is there many programs?
So
like paid programs?
No. So I'm going to have to backtrack slightly. So before I started working at Mountain Designs, I worked for the YMCA here, YMCA Christchurch, now called the Kind Foundation. But I actually worked out at Wainui Park on Banks Peninsula. And so I did a couple of seasons there. But as much as you love working in the outdoors, it's very much a seasonal kind of job. And working for a charity as well, obviously not paying the bills. So that's kind of when I went, okay, well, as much as I love this, I think I probably need to get a bit more grown-up job, which is when I went back to retail. Because it was just consistent and it was still outdoors adjacent, not in the outdoors, but selling all the gear, getting to chat to people that, love the outdoors, going on adventures with people that you meet. So kind of related.
Yep. No, I get you.
So earthquake happened. Obviously, the store was not operational. And I believe at the time, and I laugh about this now, but the company sort of said, the store will probably be closed for a couple of weeks. So we need to sort of just make a bit of a plan. Would you be happy to either transfer to Auckland or Wellington? And I had that choice, and it was awesome. Didn't know anyone in Auckland. Also, Auckland scares me a bit big.
It is quite large.
For a small country, it's a big city. So I had a couple of people I knew in Wellington already, a good friend of mine, Sophie, and also Dave. So I said, 100%, let's go to Wellington. So the company looked after me. They paid for me to relocate to Wellington with anything I could salvage from my flat, which was filled with liquefaction.
Yep.
So, you know how it is. You're running late for work. You got stuff all over the floor. And you're saying,
it'll be
out
fine
when I get back. But new. Salvaged a few things. And, I think it was about 10 days after the earthquake, I relocated to Wellington. The company wanted to put me up in the only accommodation I think that was really available in the city at the time, which was like a 7-story apartment.
Oh, yeah, good. How's that anxiety levels?
And I went...
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Thank you for saying that. But yeah, basically I said, I'm terrified of buildings right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going in a, multi-story house. And, Dave's flat happened to have availability.
Bonus.
And so, basically from going through all of that craziness, I was then flatting with Dave. And
now we're here, 15 years
are.
later. So, work questions.
Yes.
First, when did running begin to come into all this? So you've been in the outdoors, you've done that stuff, just so we can put a little chapter.
Yeah. I think I probably tried running as early as 2008 with my best friend who I was flatting with at the time. Hi, Lily. But I think I didn't know anything about running, and I would always, and a lot of new runners probably do this, I'd just go full guns blazing.
Yeah.
And I'd do like 2Ks and be like, this sucks. I'm stuffed. I'd gone out too fast. I knew nothing about pacing.
Yep.
I thought if I was jogging, I wasn't running. So I dabbled. I think I remember coming into Front Runner and buying a pair of running shoes from JC.
Yep.
Legend. And that was when I was like, I'm going to be a runner. And then just didn't obviously join a club, didn't learn anything about running, and gave up.
I mean, shoes in 2008 kind of sucked.
Oh, they were very ugly.
And they were hard.
They were very ugly. They looked like kind of what I called old school like tennis shoes.
Yeah, that was just before Nike launched the Lunar range, which I think was the first time we saw something other than die-cut EVA.
Yeah.
Like just a little.
I don't even remember what they are, but they were hideous, and I hated them, which doesn't help you with the motivation of going out and running, and also just not doing it in the right way. So I'm going to say 2008, but
so we were on and off from 2008.
Mostly off.
The intention was there. The intent was to do it.
Yeah. Running's good for you, right?
It was on the radar.
It was on the radar. Yeah.
So I had a question because I was trying to, build the episode, and I was thinking, what kind of makes Briony unique? And there's lots of things that make you unique, and we've kind of already talked about some of them, and then we've got some others to talk about. But I couldn't think of too many female reps, and then I thought, well, are there some challenges you've faced in what I believe to be a pretty male-dominant industry?
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's that way. Are we gatekeeping it, or is it just not attractive for? I don't know. So this is an open forum because it is I can't think of I couldn't think of another female rep for footwear. We have a female speedo rep,
right?
Which it probably has another conversation, but and then we have a female rep for the UFOS jandals. But when I go brand for brand, that's not a knock on the guys doing the rep for the other brands. They do a great job. I think as I went along, I was like, they're all guys.
Interesting. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I guess there's two parts to it. And this is just my opinion, may be completely wrong, but I guess a lot of women of a certain age want to have kids.
Fair.
And I think their travel involved in being a rep means that you're away from home a lot. And I think if you're a mum, that would be quite hard. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not hard for dads. Absolutely, dads want to be with the kids, but particularly in the early years, it's more common for the woman to stay home and be mum. So I think that's part of it. But I also think you're right in that it is quite a male-dominated industry. I mean, aside from footwear, I also am dealing with a lot of brands that we're selling into sort of general outdoor stores, hunting stores. And they, again, quite a male-dominated industry, particularly in the sort of hunting, fishing style of store. And so, I have come
Faces
across
some
a
challenges.
few challenges, yeah, definitely.
What's that like? Is it?
I think it just depends on the attitude that you go in with. I generally try and go into any new client with a very open attitude because, sometimes they can surprise you. You can walk into some stores that kind of look a bit rough around the edges and, it's this kind of old dude that's been selling guns for 50 years and you think, oh, great, how am I going to be received here? And you have the best interaction ever, whereas other stores you think you're going to have a great time and you just get brushed off because you're a girl and what do you know about the outdoors? And so I think it takes, you've got to have a bit of a thick skin, but also just remember it's not a personal thing. It's if they have that attitude, it's a them problem.
It's a them problem, not a you problem.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I love the balance that we have in the shop.
Yeah.
Because we kind of have young and old and then boys and girls.
Yeah.
And it is I think it's a bit more real life. And then also people associate well with other people.
Yes.
And so I feel like sometimes you can't have that conversation or you can have that conversation or if La Sportiva make a sports bra, I can't sell that.
Try.
I could try. To be honest, I probably could. But that's not the point. But I think there's that probably that to take into account too. But
having a good sort of diverse staff, I think, is really important. Because, again, I'm sure you'll have people that come in specifically to talk to JC.
100%.
You'll have, maybe ladies of a certain age that want to come in and have a chat with Lynette because that's just who they relate to, who they identify with. It's cool.
So I want to bring us to family.
Family.
And I have some more comments here from Dave.
Okay.
So I asked Dave, what does family mean to you? Yeah. And he said, it's hard for Bri. She loves her family but lives so far away from them. She has embraced my family in New Zealand as her own and our family at home. Us and our cats definitely mean the world to her. Yeah. And I want to talk about your dad. Yeah. Because I think there's an amazing story at the back end of this. Yeah. So your dad, so you're working for All Sports.
Yes. Yep.
Selling hoka.
Yes.
And goo.
Yes.
Among other things.
And other things, yep.
Among other things. And, I remember vividly you coming and saying, I've got to go, home because Dad's not well or things. Yeah. So, and I remember feeling angry for you with how that kind of worked out.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into it.
Yeah.
But so how does that unfold and how do you get through that?
Okay. So it is 2019, and like I said, working for All Sports. So All Sports are a New Zealand wholesaler based up in Taupo in the North Island, and I was their South Island rep, so looking after just about all the brands that they did, including hoka and goo. And so that's when we would have.
That was first. Was that 2015?
Known each
16?
other.
16?
It was 2017 to 2019.
Yeah.
And so in 2019, my dad, who was over in the UK, he was a single guy living by himself, But as I say, he used to come over here a lot because he loved it. And he hadn't been well, lots of different symptoms. He sorry to all the men out there, but he was being a typical man and sort of burying his head in the sand and ignoring a lot of symptoms. Didn't have a great relationship with any kind of medical professionals, just thought it was all a bunch of crap. So unfortunately ignored things for a while until things got really bad, at which point he was referred for, I believe it was an ultrasound or some kind of scan. Mm-hmm. I was actually on a sales trip down in Wanaka, and I remember this very vividly. And I got a text at about 10:30 at night here, obviously UK time. It was the morning for them, saying it was something very brief like, well, that's it, pancreatic cancer. Don't know how long I've got. And that was a text. And of course,
men.
The first thing I tried to do was ring, and he wouldn't pick up the call. And thinking about it now, he would have been absolutely gutted. Literally, he would have been not knowing how to deal with the emotion. And he was one of those guys that didn't really do emotion. He was just that kind of generation, I guess. And so, I went into full fight mode. So I did all the research. And I was, looking at alternative therapies. And I was like, right, we're going to get Dad on this and we're going to get Dad on that. And we're going to, fight this and we're going to do whatever we can. And he was just tired. He had a very different sort of attitude to me. I just went into, let's fight this. And he went into, it's time. And that was really hard for me. So I'm Dad's only child as well on his side. I've got half brother and half sister on mum's side. But, I'm Dad's only child, and the two of us has always been real close. And so I was angry that he didn't want to fight. But now I realise that he was so ill and his chances actually weren't great. They could have given him chemo, but he was already so ill as it was, it would have just made him worse. And all it would have done is potentially buy a bit of time. But he was ready at that point. So that was June 2019. And I realised pretty quickly that I needed to get over there because he was on his own. And so, talked to work and said, I need to go. And they gave me 2 weeks. Said, you can take 2 weeks off. And I said, my dad's in the UK. I don't know how long I'm going to need. And that didn't work out. So I said, cool, here's my notice. That was that. And basically said to Dave, I got to go. You need to look after the house and look after the cats, and I don't know when I'm going to be back. So one-way ticket to the UK. Got there 1st of July 2019, and Dad passed away on the 2nd of August.
So I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question.
It's okay.
So at that point, are you on your own? Like, so you've got no siblings?
Not on Dad's side.
Yeah, so is there... So you're his primary support person?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have anyone?
No.
And which is kind of his choice, and you flip your life, as anyone would, flip your life to get over there. What's that like for you when you get there and you go, okay, I've got to be everything?
Hard.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, and I still really remember this, is one of my best friends in the UK, Chris, had picked me up from the airport and dropped me at Dad's. And sort of, Dad had a long driveway up to the house, and he said, look, he knew what was going on. He said, look, I'm just going to wait at the bottom of the driveway just to make sure that you're all right. And I remember walking in to the lounge, and I hadn't seen Dad for probably a year. And I walked into the lounge, and he's sitting there on the couch, and I didn't recognise him. He'd lost an incredible amount of weight to the point where he looked like a skeleton. And I walked in and walked straight back out and went down the driveway and went to Chris and cried my eyes out. So that was so confronting, just to see him looking like a shell of his former self. But obviously, after the initial shock, I realised that I just had to be there. Like, he doesn't want to see me reacting like that. And so, I just went into kind of, again, like, right, let's figure out all the meds that he's on. Let's sort out what they all are. What does he need to be on? He's not really eating. Let's make some meals.
Yep.
And I'm going to freeze the meals, and just went into care mode, basically. It was hard, but it wasn't something I really considered at all. It was just what you do. He's my dad. And I don't know how long I've got with him. So I'm just going to do everything I can. So I did that. I guess the point where I realised I couldn't do it anymore was he started having falls. So he was starting to not be able to move around the house very easily. His bedroom was also up a very steep flight of stairs, like old English country cottage.
Gotcha. Yep.
Pretty much illegal staircase. He couldn't get up and down stairs, and he was struggling to get to the bathroom. And then, started having needs that I was not able to do myself. And so at that point, hospice. We got him in, and I thought he'd be really resistant, being, that typical guy that just doesn't
staunch. They all
super staunch. Yep. But he actually went. I think he realised that he needed that, and it also, like, I was, before Dad went to hospice, he was sleeping on the couch in the lounge, and I was sleeping on the floor next to him because I was too scared to go anywhere else in case he needed me in the night. So it wasn't good for either of us. But once he got into hospice, it was 24-hour care. They gave him a shave. Like, Dad, his whole life had been clean shaven, never grew facial hair, but because he wasn't able to shave himself, and I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't want to cut him. Yeah. So I was so scared, and he looked like a homeless guy. And within, I think, 12 hours of him being in hospice, they'd given him a shave, and he just, it was just so, it meant so much to him just to feel like himself again. And they were angels, like they're not just nurses, they're counsellors, they're entertainers. There was I remember this one Irish lady, and she used to give him heaps of shit because she just realised that Dad's a bit of a joker.
Yeah, okay.
And even though he wasn't well, he still had a bit of banter left in him, and so she kind of cottoned onto that, and she was just giving him shit all the time, and he loved it. And it was just so nice. And one of the nurses one night just sat with me until about 3 a.m, was making me tea and just talking to me because she knew I needed it. So that was just, it was a incredible place. So I really take my hat off to people that work in that environment, because I think anyone in hospice, it's a lot of them aren't coming out. So it's not like in a hospital where people are there to get better. They're there to often, spend their last days. So it must be really challenging.
They're a special kind of human.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It takes a very special human to be able to do that kind of work. So yeah.
So he does pass away.
Yes.
On the 2nd of August.
On the 2nd, yeah. So he was in the hospice, I think, for 10 days. Yep. The good thing about the hospice was I was able to get out and do a few things, because when I was caring for him 24/7, you can't do anything. So it was just silly things like, I'm going to go into town and just grab a coffee, just do something normal, or I'll just go to the bank, or, something like that, just to do.
Adulting.
Yeah, exactly. And so the day that he passed, I was in town, which was only 15 minutes from the hospital. And I got a call from the nurse and they said, are you far away? I said, oh no, I'm just doing a few errands in town. They said, you might want to come back. I said, oh yeah, I'll I'll be about 45 minutes. And they said, you might want to come back now. And, so I obviously dropped everything, zoomed straight back to the hospice, and, he passed about 45 minutes later. And I was with him. And I was playing his favourite music and holding his hand. And I don't know if he knew that I was there, but I like to think that he did. He was, he wasn't responsive at that point, but put on, I think it was Andrea Bocelli. He loved his sort of classical music. And the nurse that stayed up with me a few nights before that till 3 a.m, stayed with me that whole time as well. So it was the hardest thing I've ever gone through, but this is going to sound really, really weird, but I feel so grateful to have been there, given it was 2019. Had it been a year later with COVID, I wouldn't have got to him.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to be there. So, I'm lucky in a way. Yeah.
And some good stuff comes out of it, right?
Yeah.
So and there's a little bit of theme in your life where something challenges you and then you respond the same way, dad rings or texts, I got to respond.
Yes.
I'm going to sleep on the floor in his lounge to care for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit up at 3 a.m. with the nurse to care for him. And then so you create the Pancreatic Cancer Aotearoa Foundation.
Yes.
How does that work?
Okay. So
I'm no idea how that works.
Basically, while I was still in the UK, there was heaps of support groups. So pancreatic cancer, for those people that don't know, it's a very aggressive and very, very fast moving cancer. The outlook's really crap, essentially. So I think the survival rate for people who have been diagnosed for surviving for 5 years is less than 9%. So there's a lot of support out there for that reason. Obviously, no cancer is a good thing, but pancreatic cancer in particular, the survival rate's crap.
The worst of the bad.
It is one of the worst. And so in the UK there was all these amazing support groups that helped me along because again, I was more or less doing it on my own. And so I thought, right, after Dad passed and I had, the estate and all that sort of shit to deal with.
It's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Not what you want to be doing.
No, there needs to be a better system for that, but that's another conversation.
Yeah. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So eventually, obviously, I had to come home back to New Zealand, and I thought, okay, I'm still not good. I need that continued support that's more than obviously what my partner Dave can provide, even though he was amazing. I need something more professional. So I thought, okay, I'll find the pancreatic cancer support group in New Zealand when I get home. And it didn't exist. So obviously there's the Cancer Society and there's a lot of support sort of for prostate cancer, breast cancer, bowel cancer. There's a lot of those, but there wasn't anything for pancreatic cancer specifically. So I thought, okay, well, we'll do something about that. So, I decided to start just a support group, which just started off as a Facebook group, which is Pancreatic Cancer Aotearoa New Zealand. And from there, from having just a little private group with members joining, started a page. And then with the support of the Gut Cancer Foundation of New Zealand, which is kind of the umbrella foundation, started a website as well, just to essentially capture more people who were looking for what I was looking for, just that support and being able to talk to people that are in the same boat, whether or not they're going through it themselves or are carers for people that are. And so I started that when I got back from the UK, and it's just ticking along.
Yeah, I mean, you should be really proud of yourself. Let's talk about some running.
Let's talk about
we got all the deep stuff out the way. Yeah, you feeling okay?
I'm feeling good.
Okay,
good. Yeah, a little counselling.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've already had my counselling session this morning. So when did you first come to Run Club?
Oh, I was actually trying to think of this on the way here. I want to say it was like 2021, maybe, or it may have even been 2020. I don't know. COVID kind of.
It's blurry.
Yeah.
Because it was. Yeah. Okay. So 2020, 2021.
Did it happen in 2020? It would have. I'm sure.
It did because I got in trouble.
Okay.
Someone dobbed on me for not scanning vaccine passports at a run club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble.
Oops.
Anyway, I don't care.
Let's just say it was 2020 and I was a part of it.
Yeah. And then you kind of, because you were quite green.
Yeah.
I do remember you were quite green to the running stuff.
Very much so.
And you were. I do remember there being kind of a point where you hadn't maybe even strung sort of 10K together.
No.
And you were having the injuries and all sorts of stuff. And then I remember when the first time you managed to string together running 10K, and that sounds really creepy, but for people listening, I have this weird memory where I remember people's shoe sizes and shoes and when they bought them and then like what they were trying to do in them.
Okay.
It's a odd, it's like
you remember it better than I do.
It's like a tism. It's like a tism.
Okay.
Yeah. I do remember, and then I think you might have run a 5K maybe at the end of one of the run club things. But anyway, around the park. And then you kind of become a run lead. You fell into it. You sort of fell into it.
I got named one. I don't know how well I've actually achieved that, but yes. No, I think I remember turning up to the first run club, and I feel like a few other people were in this boat, and I know Ange was one of them. Mm-hmm. Ange Oliver, hi, and also Sharon Lister. We all rocked up, not knowing each other, all sitting in our cars, looking at all these beautiful, slender athletes in their short shorts, going, "Oh God, this is not us. What are we doing here?" And I know, having spoken to both of those ladies, all three of us almost drove away, but we didn't. We put on our big girl pants and we rocked up, and I found Matt Gillespie, and
beautiful human,
the most giant teddy bear ever. And I went, okay, Matt's walk running. I can do that. So I stuck to him like, let's just say
Velcro.
Velcro. Well, let's say Velcro.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. And I thought, okay, running can be walking. And so I did that for probably that whole season, I'd say. I just
kind of gives you a hall pass to.
Yeah.
I think there's a massive misconception that you have to go out and just like run 10K.
Yeah.
Or you've got to do half an hour, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Or all of these silly things that we build up in our brain where if you haven't done that, then it means you're not a runner, or you haven't been for a run, or you can't do it.
And if you can run while chatting, you're not running. And I'm like,
you should yarn all the time.
Hang on. You can actually have a bit of a yarn and be running at the same time. So, I think I pretty much did a whole season of like of the sort of run walk, or as they're now affectionately known as the plotters.
Self-named, I don't name them.
Yeah. No.
Pin that on me.
Absolutely self-named. And then came back for the next season. I think I stuck at it with the Not Run Club.
Yeah.
Because again, if you don't do something for a while, it just becomes harder to get back into for me.
Yep.
And then I feel like I've just progressed just by turning up for myself, but also making friends. So Ange and Sharon, two people that I met at the very first night, and we're still running together now. And it's awesome. And so, I'm running with Sharon at Bridle Path this evening.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
So speaking of Sharon, I asked both her and Dave for some funny running stories.
Oh, no. Okay.
Some I left out because, and if Dave listens, I'm sorry, mate. I couldn't put one of them in because it wasn't appropriate. Well, it could have been, but
what it is.
Yeah, it is. But I have left one in there, which I think is pretty good. So anyway, Sharon said in race Tekapo 2023, you forgot your shoes. But she didn't let it stop her. She made it work, and we completed the race.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh God, it was a comedy of errors. So, and this is going to sound terrible as a shoe rep, right? But
a little bit.
I rocked up, rocked up the night before the race, and I'd packed everything in my bag, shoes included, and then realized, it's going to be really cold, so I'm going to pack an extra hoodie. So I took my shoes out of the bag to make room for the hoodie, and the shoes remained
Classic.
on the floor in my room.
Yeah.
So I had my running shoes that I planned on running that I left, and then I had my work shoes, which also happened to be running shoes, but a size bigger than what I would normally wear running, because they were my comfy, just kind of sloppy, comfy work running shoes. And so I decided, well, I'm going to have to run in those. And so Ben from Front Runner Timaru was down there with his stand, and I was like, Ben, I need another pair of socks. Yeah. I need to pad these shoes out. So yeah, he gave me a pair of socks, and I ran in my sloppy work Bushidos.
That happens.
Yes. Oh, and I'd also discovered that my hydration bladder was leaking prior to the event, so I went out with not enough hydration and the wrong shoes, but finished it anyway. It was good times.
That's what happens. And then I've got one here from Dave, which is a little bit longer.
Okay.
Also to do with Tekapo. Last year's race Tekapo half was his first ever half. Because he's kind of taken it up, right? He's kind of followed, like you kind of got him started, and I remember he came in and JC helped him with his first pair of shoes, and then it's a tism. I can remember the day.
Size?
Remember the day. No, I didn't serve him, but I think it's 11 and a half. Anyway, and he's been kind of coming to Run Club.
Yeah.
And he came as walking first, right? He
joined the Plotties.
Yeah, and that sort of apprehension about coming. And it's a common theme, and everyone I talk to thinks the same, and I'm trying desperately hard to break break those barriers down. But so he was amped, but he was super nervous about Tekapo. So Bri had been there and done that and seemed very relaxed until the morning of the race when she got the stitch.
Yeah.
Well, two completely different races. I was buzzing, huge smile, so happy. Mm-hmm. Bri was miserable.
Yep.
And the way she talked to me during that 3 hours would have most people blush with a couple of exclamation marks. Luckily, I knew she was just in the pain zone and didn't take it too personally, or it could have been a disaster.
Oh, I feel so bad for him. Honestly, he was buzzing, he was at this level, not done a half before, but he was at a good level of fitness. He trained well. I'm still working on dialing in race day nutrition because my stomach works in weird ways. And I had I tried to do the right thing. I'd had some porridge 2 hours before the start of the race. I thought, that'd be sweet. But no, it was like cement.
Oh, good.
It was like cement in my stomach. And we started. I felt amped. I was like, love this event. So cool. It's such a nice day. I'm with Dave. The atmosphere's great. Literally 300 metres into the start, I was like, oh, weird, got a bit of a stitch.
Oh, no.
And that stitch remained for 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was, let's just say I said some things to Dave that I regret. But luckily I've got a very supportive, very understanding partner who did realise that I was in not a good place.
But you finished.
Yep.
And he finished his first half.
Yes, he did. Yes.
and then you had a glass of wine.
Oh, a few. Yeah. Yes.
So, and then I asked Dave, what has Briony done for the running community?
Oh.
Actually, I asked both of them this, but I'm going to start with Dave. Aside from co-starting a park run, she regularly volunteers at other park runs, but her welcoming influence at FRC is big. She makes people feel comfortable and welcome, and it certainly really helped when he started running and was scared to join everyone. So talk to us about Revolution Parkrun, because this is monumental. And I have been privy to the process of starting a park run. It's not easy, is it?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of health and safety involved. There's a lot of boxes to tick, a lot of paperwork. Thankfully, we actually did get a lot of help in those initial stages by Callum Templeton, who had already set up Scarborough the previous year, I believe. And also a lady called Lisa McGonigal, who's a big part of the Broad Parkrun community. And so we were, very much newbies. Even though we'd been attending Parkrun for a while as sort of participants and volunteers, we really had no idea what was behind setting it all up. And it's a process. There's a lot of paperwork, all has to go back to sort of Parkrun HQ in Australia, and then that has to go to the UK. But yeah, long story short, Parkrun seems to be sort of this booming thing at the moment, even though it's been going since 2002. In New Zealand has actually got the highest growth of parkrun events in the world currently. And the next 5 years, I think they're aiming to double the number of events here. Currently, there's 62. So if you think about that, for a tiny country of 5.5 million, having over 120 events is nuts. But that's the goal. And so Revolution, that wasn't always going to be the name. Potentially it was going to be Avebury House, but we kind of liked the fact that there's the Revolution Cafe there, and we thought that's a really cool name because the course follows the river, the Otakaro Avon River, and it was also going to be the only R name in the South Island. And for those people that are heavy into their parkrun tourism, getting an R is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, okay.
So you have your alphabeteers.
Oh, so it's pretty hard
there's
out.
a whole app where you can get challenges, and so one of them is alphabet challenge, getting all the letters of the alphabet if you can.
Wow. That's full on.
Except for X. There's no X in the world. Oh. So, so we sort of got suggested by Lisa from Broad Park because she knew that we lived very close to the area, and that also the two of us have both used that area as a running area, but also an area to go when you just need some fresh air, when you're having mental health moments and you just need to get out. And so Dave always jokes that he lost, 40 kilos on that loop. It's out there somewhere and he doesn't want to find it again. And so the area means a lot to both of us. And so, when there was an opportunity to be an event director for that new parkrun, we jumped on it. And that has basically been our life since the middle of June. Every weekend, every Saturday morning, we're out there.
It's a lot of Saturdays.
Yeah.
And so whereabouts does it start?
So it starts and finishes in the Richmond Community Gardens. So in the sort of Richmond, Dallington area. And we follow it's sort of a loop course with a couple of turnaround points, mostly along the river. And it also follows the new City to Sea pathway that the council is developing. It's really cool. The new bridge is going in. Or is in place. So we may look at altering the course once that's open. So it's been going since the 14th of June. That was the event one. And we've had people from all over the world actually visit. It's a tough one starting an event in winter because it's
same thing about starting a store in winter.
Bloody cold. And we were like, well, what's the attendance going to be like? But we've actually had, I think we've been averaging about 250 a week.
It's amazing.
Given that there's already, so there's 7 park runs within a 30-minute drive of the city. So, we thought, well, are we going to get enough people? But no, we've been doing really, really well. And the feedback has been awesome. People say, oh, it's one of the nicest courses. We love running in this area. It's so nice to see something positive brought into an area that got so nailed by the earthquake. A lot of that is all red zone area, so a lot of the housing is gone. But at the same time, it's kind of become this really nice recreational area where there's, dog walkers and there's, geese and ducks and just a beautiful, it's just beautiful, even in winter. And then I think come spring, whenever the trees and flowers start to blossom, it will just be, it's going to be a parkrun, I think, for all seasons.
Yeah, and it's like a nice moment that I guess the earthquake kind of brought you and Dave together.
Yeah.
You end up in Wellington, you come back, and then you're kind of using a space that was sort of desecrated, is not the right word, but demolished, demoed.
Didn't have a great time.
No, I mean, for people that haven't been to Christchurch, all of that was houses.
Yes.
Like all of it.
Yep.
All along the river there was...
Very nice houses too.
Yeah, inside driving.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the other street was called.
You got Retreat Road.
Yeah, that's it.
All of the roads in between.
Yeah. And just totally like totally flat. And so I think that's a nice little kind of wrap it in a bow and tie it all together.
Yeah, bring something positive back into that sort of community again.
Absolutely. And then so one more thing before we kind of land the plane. You learned some Te Reo Māori. So you just threw something else in there to take up a little bit more of your time.
Yeah, so I have a problem saying no. That's just
we can work on that.
Part of my MO. I like to do a lot of things. They all centre around people. But yeah, I guess being a citizen of Aotearoa, New Zealand, I've always felt a degree of responsibility of learning one of the official languages. And so I feel, quite lucky to call Aotearoa home. And so part of that has been wanting to learn Te Reo Māori. And so back in 2015, I enrolled on a short course, just an 8-week sort of taster course, 2 hours a week, evening class, learning very basic Te Reo Māori. Loved it. And from there went, okay, I want to do more. And so I then enrolled at Te Wānanga Aotearoa and did 3 years, I think, there. Again, just evening classes, nothing, never full-time, just 3 hours a week. From there, I think I went to Hagley College and did the evening classes there. Basically, I sort of did all the evening classes I could in Christchurch until I'd done them all, and then went, oh, crap, well, unless I go full-time uni, I'm going to lose all of this, because I always compare language to a muscle. It's like brain gym, essentially. If you stop going, you'll lose it, and you'll lose it quickly, and it's hard to get it back. So essentially, I because I didn't have any study options left, I thought, well, maybe I know enough that I could teach some basics. So reached out to a few different adult education places, and there's one here called Rising Home Learning, and they were looking for a tutor to teach basically, weirdly enough, the same course that I started my journey with.
Gotcha.
And so, back in October 2023, I started teaching a night class in Te Reo Māori, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm loving it. It is one of the highlights of the week. Run club being one, of course. But also, I'm teaching Monday nights. This time I'm actually teaching 2 nights a week, Thursdays as well, but that's just covering. And it's great, just seeing the kind of the hunger for the revitalisation of Te Reo Māori is fantastic, and I think it's a really important part of just being a citizen here.
You've done a lot of cool stuff when you sit here and talk about it for an hour, right?
Yeah, I guess. I guess for me it's just normal life. I don't really think about it as that, but yeah, there's a few things, there's a few hats.
There's some amazing things in there. And any running goals for the next 12 months?
So part of my not being able to say no is also signing up to too many events.
Yeah, fair. Fun though.
So fun. And they're social, a lot of us, it's the same crew of running friends going to the same events. So I have raced Te Kapo 32K coming up really fast. That's the 13th of September. So it'll be
4 weeks.
4 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah, nice.
So working towards that. I've been dealing with a few little niggles, as we all have. So I have actually just engaged a coach as well.
Nice.
Yes.
Who's doing that?
That is Chris Donnell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect.
Yep. So I've just kind of started with him this week, actually. So he's going to try and get me as race ready as possible. Although in our household we don't say race, we say event.
Yeah, fair. That's it.
Because it's about the participation. Race Te Kapo 32, then Crater Rim 22 in October, like 5 weeks after that. November, don't have any official events, but a few friends and I are going to head over to the West Coast and do Paparoa. Not the full lot, not the ultra.
Amazing trail though.
Oh, so beautiful. We did it, it's Canterbury anniversary weekend. We did it last year. So we started in Punakaiki, 16 Ks up to the Pororari hut and then back out. So it's a 32K out and back. So we're going to do that again because it was super cool and beautiful. And then that's November. And then Valley Ultra Piglet, which is the 24K bastard. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I just did.
Absolutely. You've heard the things I've said on this.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so both the Crater Rim 22 and the Valley Ultra 24 I did last year and didn't have the best time. So the stitch thing came back and also had some injury issues. And so, yeah, I'm going to try and tackle both of those better. I'm never going to be a podium person ever, but I think my goals are finishing just feeling happy with my own effort, whatever that is. And I want to try and do both of those again better.
Do you think, young 20-year-old Briony who came over from Winchester would think you'd be rattling off 6 events, running events to do?
No.
Be, encouraging and welcoming and helping people to exercise and feel good about themselves and show them that you don't need to be a slim jockey to turn up to a run club?
No, and even 30-year-old Briony wouldn't have thought that. I guess I've done a lot in the last 10 years, especially with running. I feel like I've always kind of been interested in people and the outdoors. That's been since I was a child, but running has very much come along in the last, really just 5 years, I suppose. And it's all from, and this is going to sound like I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but joining a club because you find your people and that's what it's about.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Be curious.
Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
It's very unnatural to say that, but I guess having had this conversation and thinking about the things that I've done over the last, 10 years. Yeah. But
there's a lot to go, but
there is. There's always things to be done. But I think what I would like to think is that Dad would be proud of me as well.
I think he would, mate.
Yeah. I think he'd never say it. Never say it.
You can feel it though.
But everyone that knew Dad has told me that he would be really proud of what I'm doing. So yeah, I think I'll take that. Even if it's not me, it's him. But yeah, I'll take it.
Well, maybe we can sit here in a decade and you can say yes.
Maybe.
So I'm going to land this plane with some words from Dave because he summed this up way better than I could.
Okay, that's pretty good. Like
it should be the first time I let someone else sum up a podcast episode that wasn't me. So go, Dave.
What an honour.
And I think it really does bring everything that we've talked about together. So she's always giving back. And I think she has a massive impact on those around her with a positive attitude. I'm incredibly proud of her and the person she is. She always amazes me and I love her more every day.
Oh, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Oscar.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, that's been awesome. I feel like I might have a little cry now.